Yo, people! Welcome back to the Coach. Well, that was awkward. As I said, welcome to the Coach's Corner with Hanno Trollip, who's obviously not here, but you're in the company of yours truly, Bani Thangudurai. If you've enjoyed, I hope, my cricket watch-alongs, you're going to enjoy the football as well. And this is the third match of today's of the tournament. We've already had two games played between Qatar and Ecuador, and the second one completed between England and Iran. This, of course, will be the third game today, and I'm joined by Kino.
What's
Hello
up?
to you. Yeah, good. So, you excited for today? And I'm sure you got the scarf to prove it. I will share the team news, obviously, because both teams have made some pretty interesting selections. But how confident are you of Holland progressing in the tournament?
Very much. To be honest, Senegal is pretty shit without Mane. They got Mendy, but we're pretty shit this match too. We got Noppert. He's 2.03 meters long. Pretty good in goal, but I prefer Bilo because he's on a
Yeah,
run
and
now with his club. Yeah, we got a pretty good attack, but the pie just shit. Just literal shit. Um, he's on the bench, I think.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah. Um,
I will share the team news right now. So
yeah.
obviously I have this
Yeah.
icon right here, and I will share the screen. This is the team news is of course courtesy of BBC Sport, and we're going to go through the Senegalese lineup first. So they're going to be playing a 4-3-3 formation. As you've mentioned, there is no Sadio Mane, who was wearing the number. Yeah, I think he's been replaced, thankfully. It's looks as though I'm not too sure what number he was, but we'll find out. So as you said, Edouard Mendy is in goal. He's normally their first choice, but he has had a bit of an up and down season with Chelsea. And when he was
Yeah.
injured for the first two games of the AFCON, it was Seny Dieng from QPR who played in this place. Alfred Gomez is another name, another keeper. So they have three decent keepers. We have Yusuf Sabali, Kalilou Koulibaly, also of Chelsea in the
Yeah.
back four, who's captaining the side today, along with Pape Abou Cisse, who will be in the centre back, and Abdou Diallo. So basically, both Sabali and Diallo are expected to sort of try and come bomb forward if they can. It's a three-man midfield of Cheikh Kouyaté from Nottingham Forest and Nampalys Mendy and Idrissa Gueye, who was with PSG but now back with Everton. And then, of course, Ismail Assar, Boulaye Dia, and Crepin Diatta. So it looks to me as though Dia is the replacement for Mane. That could be the
Yeah.
case. And of course, we have these names on the bench. The reason why I was doubtful is because I didn't know if the jersey number would have been filled, but thankfully it has been filled because the injury was just before. Unlike with France, with Karim Benzema getting injured, I'm not too sure his jersey number will be replaced. So we've seen earlier today a 4-3-3 formation picking apart Iran, who literally were almost toothless until they scored their goals. Should be a quite attacking formation, yes?
Yeah. Pretty much. I hope to see some attacking play for Senegal to test our goalie because this is debut.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna test him and make sure he is one of the best we have this tournament.
Okay, and the goalkeeping issue is interesting because I remember in Euro 2020, it was between Tim Krul and the Ajax veteran Martin Stekelenburg. De Boer ended up
Yeah,
going with the experienced Stekelenburg, who apparently had his eye in following a good ending to the season with Ajax Amsterdam when he replaced Andre Onana, but
yeah,
didn't go too as well as you would have wanted. And of course, Stekelenburg has since retired.
yeah,
His replacement is, of course, Remco Pasveer, who is wearing the number one jersey at here now and is number 22 at Ajax, but neither him nor Bilo are playing. So you're not too confident with Noppert, and the Dutch have gone for a 5-3-2 formation, which is quite risky. Denzel Dumfries and Daley Blind will be expected to, bomb forward as the wing backs, perhaps.
yeah. To be honest,
Yeah, I'll go with that. Matthias de Ligt Virgil van Dijk and Nathan Ake. Van Dijk's not had the best of form for Liverpool this season. Delict
No.
has been, okay with Juventus, but not quite at his best as he was with
Yeah.
Ajax. And then, of course, Cody Gakpo in the middle of that three-man midfield with Luke De Jong and Steven Berghuis. Is that how I pronounce his name?
Berghuis, yeah.
Berghuis. Berghuis,
Pretty
yes.
much.
And of course, you have Steven Bergwijn, who has returned to Holland with Ajax from Tottenham.
Yes.
And Vincent Janssen will be the second forward. And some pretty good talent on the bench. As you've mentioned, Stefan de Vrij will be there. Actually,
Yes. And Tyrell Malasia too.
yeah, Luke de Jong is on the bench. So this is Frankie de Jong, of course, who was targeted by
Yes.
Manchester United among all teams. And then Memphis Depay, as you've mentioned, is on the bench.
Like
So,
Simons.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Pretty. Yeah. Pretty talented players on the bench. But it's Louis' decision, and we follow Louis. So what Louis think is right, we think is right. So
yeah.
I hope he's right.
And what angers me now is that the TV station, which is showing the games for me, has not shown the national anthem. So I never got to hear the Dutch anthem, which I think is really pleasant for the ears, I have to say. And I'm not patronizing you. I've enjoyed listening to it over the years, especially when watching Holland play in football. But, it
Yeah.
seems to me, that, the issue with Holland is that you have so much talent throughout the squad. Only a certain number of people can play at the time. I remember that up front, if it had to be Robin van Persie up front, it would be Klaas-Jan
Yeah.
Huntelaar who'd be on the bench. And then, of course, now with the likes of Depay on the bench, it's the same thing happening all over again, isn't it?
Yeah, to be honest, Robin van Persie was on that moment on 2014 better than Depay. Um, yeah, Van Persie with that beautiful goal in that World Cup. But yeah, I don't remember things because I was 4 when that World Cup happened. So yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, but Van Persie was much better on that stage with Depay now.
Yeah. And Virgil van Dijk, of course, will be captaining Holland. He will exchange pennants with his Chelsea counterpart, Kalidou Koulibaly. Koulibaly has been great for Chelsea this season, albeit
Yeah,
despite having on one or two occasional games where he's made mistakes. But Van Dijk has been a little bit up and down with Liverpool. Maybe this is the tournament where he comes into himself playing
yeah, I
amongst his
hope so.
countrymen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was not yeah, drew an injury, not in the European Championship last year. Um, I think he is not that much experience now, but I hope he will change and embrace himself on this World Cup and be a better player for us.
right. And so we're coming to the Dutch, who are, of course, playing that 5-3-2 with Blind and Dumfries, the wing backs, and Delight, Van Dijk, and Ake in the back three. But tell me a bit more about this guy, Andries Noppert. Now, obviously, with Bilo and Pasveer being more established back in the Eredivisie, I've never really heard of him, I'll be honest with you. I was expecting that he'd be the number three. Would you say that it's because Pasveer and Bilo are injured, or what's Louis van Gaal thinking here?
To be honest, Noppert has a great season with Heerenveen in the Eredivisie. Average rating of 7.15. That's pretty good for a goalkeeper in for a mid team. But yeah, we see Pasveer and Bilo. Bilo, as I said, is on fire the last 3 matches. Pasveer is a little bit of a yes/no question. He is not that much. He is 39. To be honest, goalkeepers can be that age because they are better on uh, all.
Yeah.
Yeah, all. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
But
almost about
yeah,
to kick off now. We're almost about to kick off where I am. Netherlands are they've just kicked off. Netherlands are attacking from left to right in their stream. So yeah, you were talking about Pasveer. Keep talking.
yeah, he was. Yeah, so he's 39. To be honest, I don't see him playing this World Cup as a starter. Maybe as backup if Noppert gets injured. Um, but I really hope Bilo has gets a chance to play. To be honest, he is the better keeper on this team now. So yeah, I
Yeah.
hope to see him.
Right,
Uh,
right, right. And of course, it's not a really nice situation for Ajax to have when both your goalkeepers, Pasveer and Stekelenburg, are in their late 30s and early 40s. So you might need some young blood coming in. And already there's some action in the Senegalese, in the Dutch half. They've won a corner with Mane's replacement, Dia, winning it off what looks like Denzel Dumfries. So this is going to be interesting, and obviously we see some everyone on the up in the penalty area. Are you watching too?
yeah, I'm watching it right now, but mine's yours. Yeah, so my English has left me today. Now I'm watching it too. Yeah, but
Yeah, but what's the time on your thing? Because the corner's been taken right now, and it's been
uh,
headed away.
1.5 right now. Yeah,
Okay, so you are 30 seconds behind me. So normally I like to do a little bit of commentary and just talk about things in specifics. But if we're not on the same in sync in that regard, I don't know
I
if it's
can
possible. But I'll
see if
continue to talk though.
I can use another app to
All right. So two
watch.
minutes are gone, and it is Diatta down the left right now for Senegal, trying to weave his way into the penalty area, but the defense holds firm. Only as far as Mendy, though, Nampalys Mendy, that is, and Noppert has his first touch of the ball. So,
Yeah, this here it is one on one. That's even worse.
yeah, it is Dumfries now with the ball. He passes it back to Delict. And so, which team do you support back in the Eredivisie?
To be honest, Feyenoord. I started supporting them about 2016, 2017 with Dirk Kuyt winning the Eredivisie on with one of the greatest final matches we had in a couple of past years.
Hmm.
I also support a little bit of Twente midfield
Twente
team.
and Cheddar, yes?
Yeah,
Twente and Cheddar.
Enschede, yeah, yeah. um, but they come from in 2018. I remember they relegated, and now they gone to fourth, five place. So really a hero story there. Love to see them winning the Eredivisie in a couple of years. Um, yeah, to be honest, I don't support really many clubs in the Netherlands. Only those two, and to be honest, every Dutch club in Europe.
Okay, action here. Could we see a goal? No, not quite. The defense is held firm. So, very nearly a Netherlands goal there, and some good work was obviously done. And the worst part about the orange strips on the Dutch is that it's very difficult to read the shirt numbers. So,
Yeah,
I'm having that same problem for the Senegalese as well. But it
yeah,
is what it
I
is. And
really like the home shirts of last season
uh-huh.
with a line on the
Yeah.
front. It was a cool kit, but this one's already
It was,
pretty
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
So basically, some nice interplay over there between Cody Gakpo and Bergwijn wanted to be on the end of that, but he couldn't get it, and it's the chance has gone begging. So Senegal can sort of play out of their half, but they've been dispossessed right now, and they're running forward, but some resolute defending there. So this is going to be a battle between two goalkeepers. Obviously, Mendy has a lot of points to
Yeah.
prove. Very difficult season with Chelsea. Still one of the top keepers in the world, Champions League winner, and of course AFCON winner with Senegal.
Yeah.
Also was in goal when they qualified for the World Cup. very much their first choice with Gomez and Dieng behind him, but he has some points to prove. And then Noppert has come in, obviously. So this is his debut, is it?
Yeah, it's his debut for Oranje. Yeah. Um,
So
yeah,
Van Gaal has, really given him a baptism of fire, I suppose. And it might be easy, of course, with Sadio Mane not in the team, but it
yeah.
won't be so easy that he can afford to be comfortable. And as I say, that Senegal are
No,
attacking now down the right.
yeah. To be honest, with the Sadio Mane, that's a real big win for us. To be honest, Senegal was our greatest threat this group with Mane. But now with his injury, to be honest, Senegal is still a threat for us. They have really good defense and Mendy.
Yep.
Uh, but Ecuador is just, standing strong too. So I think those three will be fighting, and Qatar will be fourth because they don't have a great team, as we saw last match
Right.
yesterday.
And so Ali Cisse, the long-serving manager, a member of that 2002 vintage, which made the quarterfinals uh, that many years ago, probably the gold standard of Senegalese teams, if you will, but never really was able to taste the joy of AFCON success. But this World Cup could have been an opportunity for Senegal to try to aim higher had they had Sadio Mane in their team. And the free
Yeah,
kick's been taken, and not quite finding its man, but Senegal still have the ball, and they're still going to try and work with it. Crosses to the penalty area, and the striker couldn't get on the end of that, and the chance goes begging, but it's still with um, Idris Gueye who crosses that in, but there shouldn't be anyone on the end of that, and that will go out for a Dutch throw. So yeah, so both teams basically are trying to find some range, but the final touch has not really been the best. And you mentioned that Noppert is about 2.03 meters
yeah,
tall. Yes. So obviously, I think Van Gaal will be backing on him with his advantage in height to
yes,
try and, you know, make some saves that Pasveer and Bilo probably wouldn't be able to make.
yeah. He's
And
an
but
advantage on high corners kick of yeah, right in the corners.
yeah,
Um, to be honest, Bilo is not that high. And that means he cannot save that much balls in the corner. Still, he can though, but Noppert is has needs to prove that he's better. So I hope he's
right.
better.
And of course, it's always the taller goalkeepers are about 6'5" or 6'6", about maybe 190 centimeters tall at least,
Yeah,
who will do well in this tournament. I'm thinking of the likes of Emiliano Martinez from Argentina and also Wayne Hennessy from Wales, who is expected to start tonight when Wales play the United States.
yeah. I do not have so much information on Wales tonight. Of course, I'm gonna watch it, but still.
And
Oh,
a first shot there from Senegal, but that goes over the bar and still a rather cagey ending with about 9 minute opening with about 9 minutes gone. Not ending, opening. It is in fact Ismail Assar with that first shot and never really troubling Noppert in the goal. So yeah, obviously you don't need to have information because Wales aren't in your group. You only need to concentrate on Senegal
yeah,
today, then Qatar and Ecuador coming up. I think you'll definitely fancy your chances against Qatar, but Ecuador could be potentially tough nut to crack.
yeah. As we saw yesterday evening with Valencia, a really good striker, uh, good threat for us. I hope we have a strong goalkeeper then to face him.
Hmm.
Um, but Ecuador has a strong chance to win that match or draw it. But to be honest, my predictions are still on the Netherlands. Um, Yeah, my predictions were 2-1 yesterday for Ecuador. had it right though, the winning team, but still that goal from Qatar didn't fall. My predictions for this match were 2-0 for the Netherlands. So I hope that's right, and I get my points in the group of in the league.
Yeah, obviously, I've been asked to do some predictions as well. And let me see if there's anyone in the studio right now because I might be inviting someone else to come in. Um, no, not yet.
Yeah,
But yeah, he might possibly come on for half time, maybe. But I was on a watch along with him for the second half of England versus Iran. And I'm glad that I was able to see the entirety of the second half because I tell you one thing, that was a cracker.
yeah,
The first half was exciting enough with a long injury to Iran's goalkeeper and a record 14 minutes of added on time, 3 goals. But it was in the second half that things really started to heat up with two more goals for England. More goal for England, one
yeah,
for Iran, and two more goals for England, and finally an Iranian penalty. And then, of course, that had an extra 10 minutes of added on time. So I had
yeah.
to immediately after that watch along, I had to go and get myself some grub for tonight because I'm also doing another watch along. So this is something I enjoy, and you'll be seeing a lot more of me either on Hanno's channel or anyone else's.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that 10 minutes added were from the pen because he did 1 year over the penalty. Yeah, it was he was just as slow as my grandma.
I get that. I get that. I get
Yeah,
that. So where do you live in Holland? Actually, do you live in where do you live?
I live in the south. We call it North Brabant here. I don't
Okay.
know why. Yeah, where the other part of Brabant is in Belgium. It's pretty complicated, our provinces, but
Right. So you also know that there are two forms of Dutch: Flemish, which is spoken in Belgium, and of
yeah,
course, given that you're on Hanno's channel as a South African, he speaks Afrikaans, another
yeah,
form of Dutch. So I suppose when it comes to speaking with Hanno, it's probably only English. But if he were to speak in Afrikaans, maybe you could understand what he
I
says for the
yeah.
most part.
Yeah, I could understand him, but they changed the words a slightly bit. Like lift, we call it here lift, but they call it takelwagen, like yeah, a wagon you can pull up. So I could understand him that right, but I pretty much speak English to him. It's
Yeah,
much
and
easier.
I suppose if you aren't able to communicate, it can certainly make you rather gutful. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the Afrikaans term for fed up, and I'm assuming that it means the same in Dutch, yes?
yeah. Fed up here means so. First my English, now my Dutch. What's happening with my mind, bro? Come on. No, it means bro. What? Yeah, yeah. That, that,
Now,
that.
listen, it happens, it happens, it happens. Don't worry about that, son. I think it's a case of, you being so excited to see the Dutch play that you sort of forget sometimes what to say. Sometimes you forget who
Yeah,
you are. It happens, it happens, it happens. Don't worry
it's
about
his first World Cup in 4 years. No, wait, 8 years. Yeah, 8 years.
it. Right.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah, because the Dutch didn't qualify for Russia, did they?
Nee, they no, they did not. Yeah, they needed to win that last match with a 6 goal difference. That was not happening.
Hmm.
And we had the old squad back together then with Van Persie and Kite and
Yeah,
Robin.
count.
Yeah,
Robin.
got legend of finance. But we had the old squad back together, but. Louis, I think yeah, Louis managed then. He's set up pretty strong young squad, and I think we had an advantage with that because the old team we haven't. Yeah, so we had a great team, but I think this team is much better apart from the team 8 years ago.
Mm.
Uh, Uit now managing ADO Den Haag in de keukenkampioen-divisie.
Right.
Doing
So Dumfries now inside, and Senegal can put that away. And once again, it's the theme of the match. Both teams have been able to find their way to get into the defense, but the final touch has been lacking in a way. Berghaus now with the throw to Delict. And I think it's also fair to say that ever since Delict left Ajax to move to Juventus, his form seems to have taken a bit of a dip. And I remember in the Euros, he wasn't quite at his best. So maybe he should have stayed at Ajax, perhaps. The only problem is, Ajax has a track record of developing so many talents who shine so brightly, but they can't afford to keep their players. It's a
yeah, it's
vicious cycle,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's the same with Ziyech, transferred to Chelsea. Now he's just a bench warmer. Plays often, but not the player he used to be at Ajax. But I think the players who developed at Ajax, like Ziyech and De Ligt. Um, if you stay at Ajax, you know you have a better form,
Hmm.
but it's also they also have new young talent coming in, and they want to play them. So it's a yes no question again. It's good better for your reputation maybe if you go to another team. Um, but if you stay at Ajax, you can have playtime. But if you're 26, you're just a bench warmer. So it's a pretty difficult question. But most players seek their glories outside of the Netherlands, and I'm totally agree with that. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
People are sort of like looking at the grass being greener on the other side, but only
yeah,
very, very few of them seem to enjoy much in terms of really big success. I think of the likes of, obviously, those Dutch
yeah,
players like Robin, who were able to win the Champions League with Chelsea and a few others. Um, Van der Sar, of course, began with Ajax, was a part of that Champions League team. Also very tall and probably the
yeah,
greatest ever goalkeeper. I remember watching a certain Eindhoven goalkeeper named Hans van Breukelen, who was the starting keeper for the Dutch team, which won Euro '88. But after that, his form seemed to slightly taper off a little bit. Semi-finalist in '92. And I think in 1990, he only made the second round with the Dutch in '94. And we have a Dutch attack going on over here. Passes to the right man. It is Daily. I don't know if it's Daily Blind, but trying to be a bit too clever there. Actually, that was. Let's see who that was. That was the Dutch number 21, Frankie de Jong there, who was trying to do some step overs and be a bit too clever. Couldn't find this man. But yeah, that also seems to be a typically Dutch sort of way to play. You try and use your feet to turn players one way and land them flat on their backside, and then try and shoot. But this time it didn't quite work.
yeah. As Cruyff said, your best defense is offense. Just all out attack, and we will see where we land.
Yeah, some great work by him to take it past the defender, but obviously the Senegalese defender, who was that? Czech Kouyaté was able to cover quite perfectly there. So again, it's a question of some terrific runs into the defense, but some resolute defending, which gets both Senegal and the Netherlands out of trouble. In Senegal's case, I think their final touch is lacking, so maybe they are missing Sadio Mane a bit.
Yeah, I really they also they are missing Sadio in every way possible. Best striker of Senegal. Um, and don't watch Bayern that much. at the moment, but I think he has a good form at Bayern. Or am I wrong?
He was decent for Bayern, certainly, and obviously for Liverpool, he was
Yeah,
magnificent. And if you
yeah,
obviously you know about Virgil van Dijk, you'll obviously be following Liverpool, so you will have seen how good Mane was with Liverpool and
yeah,
how pivotal he was to their team's challenges. But it is what it is, and Senegal have to move and move forward, and
yeah,
it just goes to show that when it comes to injuries, you can't afford to take any chances. I'm just glad that Senegal were able to name a replacement for Mane in
yeah,
time. It is now
yeah,
Frankie de Jong trying to run, and he's done magnificently to get past two defenders, but his attempted pass through to, I believe that was uh, Bergwijn or Berghaus, I don't quite know. Must have been Bergwijn, maybe. And just didn't quite go through. And now the formation of Netherlands seems to be changing. They had evolved into a 4-2-3-1. Now it looks to be a 3-4-1-2 once again. So basically, it looks as though Gakpo might be a bit more of a midfield pivot now. Uh,
yeah. Gakpo is pretty strong on the flanks, on the left and the right. Still, he was at Tottenham. I think he was a right winger,
mhm.
and now at Ajax he's a left winger.
Oh, you're talking about Bergwijn, right?
Oh, yeah, Bergwijn. Sorry. And now, if we're talking about Gakpo, PSV now, left
Mhm.
winger there. Pretty strong. Top scorer of the Eredivisie, I think. Second in the Eredivisie now.
Mhm.
Um, Still fine win the champion, so hope to see them winning this year. Again, it was 12 years. No, it was 6 years
Yes.
until 6 years till we
Right.
won
And
the Dutch league. So
yeah.
hope we
And so
win.
that was Berghaus who whipped in the free kick, but easily defended. So once again, 20. We're sort of at the midway point in the first half, and no goals have been scored by either team. So, after goals galore earlier today, and certainly that opening fiesta, we've been goalless so far. But of course, to be fair, it took England until the 31st minute to score themselves. But when you consider the time that was lost to the injury, they did score fairly quickly. And I was
Yeah,
actually quite surprised that Iran were dismantled because we've been hearing a lot of stories of how well organized they are and how they could give England a run for their money. But I think Southgate read the signs and said, you know what, I'm not going to play a back five; it'll be a back four and midfield three and three up front. So it worked a treat, and 6 goals, no complaints.
yeah. No, no, you're right. Watched it. Pretty strong match. But still, first half took a while. With 14 minutes extra time, and the second half 10 minutes extra time.
Hmm.
I think it's gonna be a usual thing this World Cup with 10 minutes extra time each match.
Mm.
I don't hope it. Or now, if the Netherlands are losing, yeah, then I hope it. But um, yeah, it's not ruining the game, but still, you're pretty tired because you need to play 40 minutes extra uh, on this match, 24 minutes onto the 90 minutes playtime with injuries and that stuff. So that's
Yeah.
140 minutes you need to play. So
Yeah, so not really many controversial omissions from your squad, but a couple of injury losses. Wijnaldum is a very big loss, of course, with his experience. Certainly, you were hoping that he would make a mark on the tournament. Jasper Cillessen was, of course, your first choice in 2014, but probably hasn't been too much in the picture. He was in the preliminary squad, but it eventually cut off.
yeah,
And
to NEC, sort of
Nijmegen,
a
yes.
backmarker in the Eredivisie this year. Still, he was on the squad a month ago, I think. But Bijlo was the best decision. Pasveer, I think he could have squad Citizen with that. And yeah,
Yeah,
Noppert.
from
Yeah,
what I've seen, of Pasveer this season with Ajax, certainly in the Champions League, he hasn't really impressed, and the lack of caps and the relative lack of experience among the goalkeepers is a bit of a worry. And of course, with Andreas Noppert, as you say, it is his debut, so he's been sort of thrust in. But of course, with Virgil van Dijk and the likes of De Vrij and Daley Blind, of course, who could earn his 100th cap in the tournament if the Netherlands do go all the way, there is some experience in the defense and in the midfield. Not again, as I said, no real controversial omissions. And of course, Depay, as you mentioned, 81 caps. He could earn cap number 82 tonight. He's on the bench, of course. And yeah, so obviously it seems to be a well-rounded team, but with some very, very young players as well.
yeah,
And so I suppose if it had to come down to the decision between Barlow and Noppert,
yeah,
maybe Van Gaal saw something in Noppert. And sort of segueing to Van Gaal now, the Dutch have a corner they can try and attack. Nathan Ake, of course, is back in the picture. Good to see him back.
yeah. Pretty good to see him back too. Still a strong. Maybe not that much potential defender, but still he can be a pretty strong defender for the Netherlands and City. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, regular playtime now at City.
Of course. That is, of course, Gakpo with the corner, and it's headed wide by Virgil van Dijk. But I was actually about to ask you about Van Gaal because he's been sort of synonymous with Dutch football. I think this is his third stint as manager because I do
Yeah,
remember the first time he managed the Dutch team, they failed to qualify for the 2002 World Cup.
yeah.
Obviously, he was in charge of the team which reached the semi-finals in 2014 and beat Brazil to win third place. And now, of course, he's back for a third stint. It's as if, you keep coming back to him. What do you think it is about him that makes the KNVB so interested to keep rehiring him as a coach?
Um, I think Louis is one of the best managers we ever had to manage. He has a strong insight with his mind. Pretty painful to see him go after this World Cup, but we got a stronger replacement. But he is a pretty good manager. Um, yeah, not too much to say about him, but as for now, only positive things, no negative things. Uh,
Okay, so we've got some comments already. Chelsea fans in the building, big up to you. Uh, Netherlands
Netherlands
will
will
win,
win. Yeah, yeah, the
and
Netherlands will surely win, bro.
yeah, and obviously coming home, he was referring to England's game,
Yeah,
urging people to keep hitting the like button. Football
do it.
Freres in the building, Vamos, dear friend, and the goal difference saying Netherlands looking bright, but Senegal aren't looking too bad either. So there's a lot
No,
to obviously,
yeah,
yeah,
pretty good match for now. I hope to see more chances being created and surely a few goals. But as long as we play this way and make a goal, we win. It's uh,
yeah,
it's that easy. Yeah, hope to be winning, but
yeah.
Senegal is a strong bot, so they can.
Yeah, where's that noise coming from? Is it from your side or over here? Because I don't know.
I
There's
can.
persistent beeping going on.
Oh, that's my phone. Wait. Um,
Okay, so you must be getting some alerts from your friends, yes?
yeah. Instagram and stuff. I'm pretty popular. No. I'm. It's. I think it's gone now. Yep.
Okay, so it's now 4:30 GMT, and
What's your opinion on the with the One Love band with the yellow cards? Because um, it's a pretty difficult decision, and I think the FIFA once again.
yeah, listen. Now, all I can say right now is that the risk of hosting a tournament in the Middle East like this is obviously, the
Yeah,
Middle East have some issues with their, their culture and their way of life. They are still, for all intents and purposes, a rather conservative Muslim conservative Islamic State, and obviously they don't look down kindly on issues of homosexuality and so forth. But
Yeah,
of course, there are some human rights issues there, and obviously we talk about the migrant workers. I think clearly it was an issue. FIFA pretty much made their bed when they decided to let Qatar
yeah.
host the tournament. And what angered me particularly about that decision was that Qatar had no real footballing heritage because
No, yeah, that's true.
there were other countries like Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and the UAE who have qualified for the finals before,
Yeah,
and they would actually have been maybe not so much Kuwait, but certainly the UAE and Saudi Arabia. They would have been definitely
yeah,
good
much
candidates
better.
to
Yeah.
host
We
games.
were we also I think were qualified to host this World Cup, but as you see, didn't make it. But still, we I think in the future we can't organize a World Cup here. It's a too small country. Nah, yeah, not yet a too small country, but we have stadiums with you can pick the Amsterdam Arena and the Kuip, Feyenoord Stadium. But we also have pretty stadiums with 3,000 supporters, so it's pretty difficult to organize here a World Cup here.
Mhm.
And then we need to make more build more stadiums, and then we get the same thing what's going on in Qatar. So it's pretty difficult, but I think USA in um, 2028, yeah, 2028 is much better than Qatar this World Cup. Because
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. But you can also, of course, co-host a tournament because I do remember in 2000 you did co-host the Euros, didn't you?
yeah,
Oh,
with I
you
think what.
probably weren't born then, I would imagine.
No, I was born 8 years later, but I took a deep dive in the history of the World Cup and European Championship. Um, but still, yeah, we are not. We have a great football history. That's not the problem, but it's the stadiums and the supporters.
Yeah,
Uh,
but as I said, Kino, you can co-host a
yeah,
tournament like you did
yeah,
with Belgium, so that might be the way forward. And
yeah.
obviously,
We can. Yeah,
certain nations like Scotland, Ireland, and Wales will probably look
yeah,
to co-host a tournament. I know England has hosted both a World Cup and a European Championship. We were supposed to host the World Cup in 2018, but that went to Russia. Obviously, that also angered me
yeah,
to no
that's,
end.
yeah,
But it is what it is. Sometimes FIFA have a wonky way of making decisions,
yeah,
and we just have to roll with the punches. But
yeah. Yeah, you're right.
and
Um,
I think we can safely say as well that with all of the controversy surrounding this tournament, if we never see a World Cup being played in the Middle East again, it will be too soon. I don't ever want to see this happening again because
no,
this is disrupting the seasons obviously in Europe, and
yeah, true.
had it been played in the summer, it would have been even worse in terms of the heat. So
Yes,
there's
that's
no
true.
way that
That's
we would have
true.
been able to handle that.
Yeah, I think maybe it's better if we organize something like the European Championship where we did in 2021 with stadiums all over the world. I think that's a safe option, but then we still have to worry about supporters who need to buy tickets all over the world and fly, and that's still not good for the earth. So it's pretty hard decisions that FIFA has to make, and sometimes they fuck up. Sorry for my language. As sometimes they don't do it right. Like this whole World Cup, it was not right to do it. Um, yeah, you have to make decisions, and sometimes it go wrong. And I really understand the criticism on FIFA all these years. I think to be honest, my opinion is to not rebuild the FIFA, but make new rules with the World Cup and building stadiums and supporters and the tickets and the uh, yeah, how you get to the World Cup. So I think FIFA needs to make new rules for all countries who host or co-host
Yeah,
this the World Cup or the European Championship in the future.
exactly. And we see a corner being conceded by Senegal, so the Dutch have a corner. It is it was Papa Cisse who conceded that. And is there another corner? Nope. It is headed back, and just trying to work that in. It just occurs to me that all of these commentators in the studio have it easy because they actually watch a monitor and they have all the players' names sort of uh, monitored and tracked really, so they can read it easily. But for me, watching it on
Yeah,
television, I can't. I enjoy commentating, but it's not easy for me sometimes. And
yeah.
there was a
It's
speculative cross shot there by Daily Blind, which went over. And now we
I think
see Memphis Depay and other substitutes warming up. So yeah, you were saying?
I think for commentators, it's pretty easy to commentate their own country because you know that the players and their looks and the faces. But and yeah, for from like Portugal and Argentina, you know that too. But like small football countries like Saudi Arabia maybe or Qatar or maybe even Ecuador, you can't remember all of that, and that's really no, that's not a real problem, but it's a thing commentators need to work on and um, train.
Right. Yeah. Still a very cagey first half so far. Neither team willing to give very much away. And of course, from what I saw from the Dutch in the Netherlands, they certainly did look really good going forward, and certainly attacking wise, they showed a lot of promise under De Boer. But Van Gaal seems to be a little bit more pragmatic now in a way, and sometimes if you're too pragmatic, it might not really give you the results you want all the time. And that's a big problem.
Yeah, yeah. As we see, as we saw the European Championship last year with the controversial handball by Frankie, with all the memes going on, where I want to play a handball. Yeah, it's pretty difficult for us to make uh, wins international things like the World Cup. But still, we have a good chance to win matches. But it's pretty difficult if you're playing against Portugal or Argentina. We're
Yeah.
like if you play against Argentina, it was like we're Saudi Arabia and they're Portugal. So
Right. Okay.
it's a pretty good difference.
I'll just take this call and I'll come back.
Yeah. So pretty good match. What do you think about this match, guys? Just leave it in the chat, and I will react on it. So I'm pretty new here, so.
Obviously, personal phone calls cannot be broadcast to the entire world, so I had to mute my microphone. That is what it is.
No, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
Yeah. And one of the biggest issues that has plagued Dutch teams over the years, obviously, is that every year, whenever the Dutch have qualified for a major tournament, they've had so much talent on display. But internally, team harmony wouldn't be that good. I saw that in the USA World Cup in '94 when Ruud Gullit decided to quit before the tournament even started, which really rocked the team in a way. And in Euro '96, they were drawn in our group along with Scotland and Switzerland. We thrashed them 4-1 at Wembley, but that team also looked to be a little bit of a shambles. And somehow they were able to qualify for the next stage and reach the quarterfinals. But it's as if no matter how well they do, you just don't get the sense that the team really enjoy playing with one another. Hopefully, in more recent years, that trend has changed somewhat.
So I see comments from Hanno. Boring game. Pretty much, Hanno. Pretty good chances though, but no goals. So pretty boring. But um, as I see now, I think you saw it too. Injury, or maybe just a fall. I don't know.
Yeah, just a foul, no injury, and there's a
Okay.
free
Yeah.
kick now being taken. I'm on 41.0789,
Yeah.
41
I'm
minutes. So
40 at 40-30.
okay, so you're just a few seconds behind me still, but don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
And another comment, Joel. Hello to the both of you. Hello to you, Joel. You enjoying the match?
Well, obviously, I'm sure he enjoyed seeing England play, and he's just probably,
Yeah.
sort of looking in and seeing what's happening. And oopsie daisies. Yep. And obviously, with Cisse at the helm, Senegal have been able to progress as a nation, and they've certainly improved. And winning that African Cup of Nations tournament was something they needed for a long time. So, thankfully, they were able to get that. One of my best friends happens to be Senegalese. He's now, of course, married to Bosnian American, yeah, and settled in Iowa. But he and I were friends together at university up in Florida.
Oh, pretty cool.
So
as another comment.
obviously, like part of me is thinking of him. But now that I have a Dutchman sitting with me, there's no way that I can openly declare my support for either team.
Yeah, no, it's um, yeah. No, you can support whoever you want. As long I'm the Dutch here. So yeah.
Yeah, my team is England anyway, so I'm quite happy with the result.
Yeah.
Unexpected. I was predicting a 3-1 win, and they ended up doubling that. So
Yeah. Uh, I expected a low goal count, but still 6 goals. It's I expected a sort of a 6-5-4 goals, and yeah, pretty much got it right. But still, Bellingham scored. I think Saka 2 times, if I'm right. And uh,
yeah, Bellingham with one, Saka with two. Um, I want to
Grealish
say
with yeah,
Grealish with one, and then Rashford with one, and then
yeah, Grealish showing a good form lately for City, and for City not that much, but still good team with De Bruyne and Haaland. And for England, as of today, he has a pretty good uh, form.
yeah,
As we progress in the tournament, I hope to see him keeping his form. And
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
Grealish has been more often used as a substitute coming on, and that was his role during the European Championships as well. It's as if you wear the number 7 jersey, you are condemned to becoming a substitute. Gone are the days when the number 7 jersey meant that you were an automatic starter for England. But look, it is
yeah.
what it is. I'm not complaining. Beckham, of course, wore that number.
No, that's
ALS in more recent times.
with the 7. It's sometimes it's the same with number 14, like the number of Cruyff. That means you're a cam or a center mid or pretty much a central forward, like Cruyff was. So that in the yeah, good old days with Kuyt and Van Persie, that meant you got to start. Um, and sometimes he'll be in the bench, but he will substitute you in as the match progressed. But yeah, number 14, you don't see it pretty often anymore. But
It's Davy Klassen from your team who's wearing it, and he is,
yeah,
of course, on the bench, as you said.
yeah,
And of course, others, including Martin de Bruyne, and of course, Tyrell Malacia,
yeah,
who's at Manchester United, of course.
yeah,
Another sort of an up and down season for him, but
yeah.
he
Former
hasn't done
finance,
too bad. Yeah,
former finance player. So
yeah, and of course,
yeah,
Xavi Simons is also quite highly regarded,
yeah.
also in the squad. But yeah,
Yeah, he's a pretty good midfielder now. He didn't much get the play time. He was pretty much there as um, a potential youngster. But at PSV, he is a pretty much every game starter. And I hope to see him play this match. But he is on the bench, so I hope they substitute him in the second half.
yeah, there is some talent, of course, all
Yeah,
over the entire squad, and football is now a squad game. So even if you're the second or third keeper, you might not have hope of playing. You still have to be on your toes, as we saw today in the Iran game when Ali Reza Baranvan, the Iran goalkeeper, the experienced goalkeeper, got that serious injury. He had
yeah,
to be replaced, and his replacement was pretty much on a hiding to nothing. It has to be said.
yeah. And Iran also have a finance player in the squad, Elreza Jahanbakhsh, the left.
I remember Jan Bucks very well. He also played in the Premiership for Brighton and Hove Albion, but has since moved
Yeah,
on. And there were 2 minutes of added on time awarded, but I think we're somewhat beyond that. And it won't be long before the referee blows his whistle. So very cagey first half. Neither goalkeeper being forced to make a save of note, although earlier on Edouard Mendy did have to, intercept an attack coming in, but no real threat coming on. The referee has blown for half time. I think Blind had a chance or two, and it's still 0-0 at half time now. So I will just.
yeah.
What are you doing? Changing the banner or something? What's going on?
No, no. Yeah, I think I'm. If Hanno joins right now, I'm going to hop off. It's what's the time? It's I still need to eat. So no, I think if Hanno joins, if I'm going to hop off. So
Yeah, if he joins, that is,
if
because obviously, he's, I think, 2 hours ahead of GMT now. So it's going to be 5 o'clock in the UK, 7 o'clock in South Africa. He did have some work on Monday, but I think this week he seems to be a little bit better now.
so yeah, half time. Pretty. Uh, as you said, great match.
Cagey. Yeah,
KG,
no,
yeah,
neither team not really offering much in terms of opportunities, and whenever there's been an attempt to sort of get into the defense, it's been the final touch has been lacking. But obviously, the defenses have pretty much stepped up, and neither goalkeeper has been forced to make a save. So I think it's fair to say that Noppert couldn't have asked for an easier first 45 minutes of international play.
yeah,
Andre Snoppert, that is.
yeah. Our first 45 minutes of the World Cup. Away you go. No, our first 45 minutes of the World Cup. Pretty good 45 minutes. But as we maybe are the strongest squad here, we need to show more and pretty more at the attack.
Yeah. So
Average player age 26.6 years at squad, so pretty young squad we have.
yep,
Um,
very young indeed.
yeah, yeah. Average rating is a 6.99, so 7. Um, so yeah, that's the rating of the Nations League. World Cup is not live, but the rating of the 2014 is a 7.18, but that's still 10 years ago. Oh no, so 8 years ago. Um, but yeah, just still Cody Gakpo, pretty much the strongest player. As average rating 7.64. And the graph shows much about it. Just 2 in the gray and pretty much all in the green, with Norway in the green, Denmark. Norway 2-0 for us, and for us 4-2 on Denmark. Germany, we see a pretty low gray bar with the 1-1, of course. Belgium 1-4. Pretty easy game for us, as Belgium
Yeah.
doesn't show much.
So they're showing the highlights right now, and so far Virgil van Dijk has actually put his inconsistent club form at Liverpool behind him by being really assured so far in defence. And obviously, his return to form couldn't have come at a much better time. It has to be said. But now, of course, with the Dutch holding firm in defence, and in my studio where I'm watching it, I've got Luis Figo and Wayne Rooney. So I'll be interested to hear what they say. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
So Figo has obviously improved his English. This is a good thing to see. And once again, they're just showing the highlights once again. Basically, Ismail Assar working his magic down the wing, but not really able to get past that defense, which is held firm. And obviously, Van Dijk, Ake, and De Ligt have been quite outstanding in that regard. So De Ligt obviously has put his rather
Yeah,
his
Louis
his
seems to
Euro.
be pretty mad,
Yeah,
as I see here. Pretty frustrated. Of course, he can be frustrated with this yeah, first half. Still good for us, but it can be better, of course.
Maar tegelijkertijd is er toch ook wel wat
Still gonna
vaak wordt het eigenlijk ingeleid door.
So obviously, I couldn't make head or tail of what that was. Could you translate for me, please?
Yeah, I'm back. What you say?
Yeah, like obviously that's in Dutch, and I can't understand that. So can you translate that for me, please?
Oh yeah. Yeah. The showing the highlights now, and you're talking about Gakpo. Good game. But he needs to pump his passing up and show his shooting abilities.
Nog een beetje inkomen, ja. Ja, is dat ook wat je ziet? Het is slordig, maar komt het uit nervositeit? Ja, ik denk dat we met z'n allen een beetje in moeten komen in het toernooi. Ik denk dat dat wel...
Yeah, and Marco van Basten, Dutch legend, says we need to slowly build up our confidence and yeah, our rating in the matches and our attacking play in the World Cup. So we have various stages. This is our first World Cup in a pretty much years. So the group stages is the test for us to see our attacking play and our defensive play, and if we're good enough for the knockouts. And just build up your place, and we will see pretty much in the knockouts. Because
Yeah.
then what's that? Then the real World Cup starts with the better teams and the better plays. Because you've got one match to show it, and extra time and penalties. So
Yeah.
Anders zie je toch vaak aan middenvelders.
So not really rocket science there. Pretty much, just trying to negotiate the group stage, and once you get out of the group stage, it's all up for grabs. So
yeah,
yeah, and an interesting statistic, of course, is that if Netherlands, when you take a look at the way the Netherlands have played over the throughout this year, they haven't really been big on scoring goals in the first half, but in the second half they've really shone, scoring 11 goals compared to 7 in the first half. So they're more of a second half team. I think it's fair to say that they're probably going to try and, be pragmatic enough to avoid conceding goals in the first half, which is what they've done successfully. And then in the second half, they can possibly turn on the style a bit. Maybe bring on Depay and a few other attacking players and see if, they can provide that sort of, impetus going forward, maybe.
So there is a question in the comments for me. Can I speak African? No, I can not specifically African. I can speak Dutch though, but African is a variant on our language. So Hanno can, but no, I can't speak Afrikaans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about that earlier, and I think you said that there are some words in, of course, Flemish and Afrikaans which you might not be able to understand completely.
With Flemish, it's more of the accent. It's a pretty quiet accent, pretty not the hard accent of the Brabanders, what we say where I live, the province. We have a pretty not really a hard question, but what if we speak loud, and the Flemish, the Belgians, they speak calmly, and we can't. We just can't. We're Brabanders and we can't.
Bij Schoneberg werken we samen met alle zorgverzekeraars. Dus overweeg je een nieuw hoortoestel. Dit jaar krijg je nog een vergoeding die kan oplopen tot 100.
So is that the stream or? Oh yeah.
Kijk op
Because obviously I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm sure back in the Netherlands, your local television stations will be carrying some of the matches, right?
Yeah, the mainstream media, as we say, NPO. We have three stations here. Literally, half of the world has that. The English has BBC. We have the NPO. 3 stations. 3 is more of the kids. 2 is more of political and that stuff. 1 is news and international matches and sports. So I'm watching it right now on NPO 1. I can see if ESPN streams it, if they are faster.
One of the things which has made me happy is that Italy aren't in the tournament, because I do seem to remember, of course, watching the Euro final, seeing Giorgio Cellini literally grabbing Bukayo Saka's shirt and nearly strangling him in the process. That was something which should have been flagged with a booking or even a sending off for potential dangerous play, but it wasn't, and that made me angry. And seeing them celebrate in our faces, it's coming to Rome, it's coming to Rome. The fact that they're not at this World Cup makes me quite happy.
Yeah.
Another, yeah,
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
team which, I think we've got the African champions, the Asian champions, and the Copa America winners, and I think the Asia Cup winners. I'm not too sure, but the European Cup champions are missing. So, and obviously their brand of play will be a little bit more, also sort of pragmatic, but also they will look to attack going forward later on. So that could have been potentially a match where you could have cancelled each other out. But, they lost to North Macedonia, and they would have faced a Portuguese team with Ronaldo in it. And now we see the players coming back out. I wonder, taking a look at the tournament going forward, potentially if you were to qualify as group winners, you could end up facing Argentina. I know you don't want to look too far ahead, but
Yeah.
are you, what? I wonder how apprehensive you are about potentially facing the Copa America champions, who are
Yeah.
favorites
It's
to
yeah.
go all the way
Yeah.
with it.
My predictions are too Netherlands first in the group, and then we have Netherlands Argentina. Personally, I think Argentina is gonna win because Argentina has way and way better strong squads. Yeah, Messi. Yeah, Messi.
I think the game
Yeah,
plan will probably be to try to shut down Messi, but of course, with Angel Di Maria and others in the team, you simply cannot, take them lightly. And
yeah,
of course, water breaks will be more frequent in this tournament as well. And by the way, just a heads up, I hope you won't leave too soon, or Hannah will join you, because there will be some point where I end up, being kicked out of the stream. It's a sort of a power trip which happens where I
yeah,
am, but I will come back within 5 minutes. Yes.
yeah, yeah. If you go back, yeah. So if you're, yeah.
And of course, if you see me, I think you're also controlling the stream. I think so. If you see me backstage, you could just let me back in, or
Yeah.
I'll come back in.
Not. I think it's because I don't have an account. I can't change the stream.
Yeah, but don't worry, don't worry. Just stay online. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
they've just kicked off where I am, and Senegal are now attacking from left to right. Sort of a long punt forward, which is allowed to go outside for a throw in. And has it kicked off for you yet?
It kicked off right now.
Oh, excellent. So you're now less than 20 seconds behind me. So that's
I'm
much better.
45-13 now, right now.
Oh, excellent. So not even barely 10 seconds. So that's brilliant.
Oh, okay,
That's
yeah,
brilliant.
that's good.
Now,
Good.
now we can definitely speak a lot more about the game. And just a reminder, of course, of the team lists and the formations. 4-3-3, obviously, for Senegal. And of course, with I believe you started with a 5-3-2, but it has since evolved to a 4-2-3-1 and now a 3-4-1-2. Gakpo was being a sort of a pivot, if you will. And
Yeah, I'm just
splendid.
watching the stats right now. The votes for winning this match are 64% are on the Netherlands, 90% on Senegal, 15% a draw. So no changes at the Dutch lineup, I think. Not that I see now. We have 6 chances for Senegal, and we have 5 chances for the Netherlands right now, and there are uh, one is blocked, and the rest it wasn't even on goal. Expected goals are 0.21 for Senegal, 0.23 for the Netherlands. So that comes out on a draw. Ball possession for the Netherlands right now 54%. Total shots Senegal 6 shots on
Okay,
target.
so all alone now, 1 against 3, but Ake sort of stops him in his tracks and is able to clear that. And it is with Daily Blind back to Delict, I think. Back again with Blind. And trying again to move forward. Actually, that was Frankie de Jong who was playing there between him and Blind. But you can see right now it's basically Frankie de Jong, Nathan Ake. I think they're appealing for a handball, but just didn't quite get it. And the Dutch, in any case, have a free kick.
As they updated it on the 45 minutes, they have a total of 240 passes, and Senegal 203. So it's all on the same level. That's sometimes with passes, but still it could end in a draw. And it's the chance is getting bigger and bigger for a draw to end it in a draw. But if we want to be group champion, we can't afford to draw the first match. We simply can't.
Nope, because
then we lose the points on Ecuador and Qatar with Qatar tied with Senegal then, and then wait. If you go now. I'm done.
So Qatar, of course, the Asian Cup winners. So they obviously tried to give the impression that they were a team that was coming together quite well. But I guess they were found out yesterday, and they could continue to be found out in this tournament. But enough focus on them. We're talking about the Dutch and the Senegalese.
A streak for the Netherlands, three wins on a row right now, and team streaks for Senegal, 3 losses on a row right now. So it's all the same. So it can be broken today, the Netherlands, or it can be broken from Senegal. So we have 15 matches on a row, no losses, no under Louis van Gaal. So that says something about Louis, and that really says something about the squads. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to make another phone call, so I'll just mute the microphone for a bit, yeah?
Ooh, good save by Senegal. Corner by Netherlands. Okay, jumped right in. Couldn't catch it. So, ball to Senegal.
Yeah, so touch wood. We shouldn't have any problems with me staying online because, things seem to be okay right now at my end. But so 15 minutes up, I think Mendy was forced to make a claim from a set piece. And once again, still quite cagey. I don't think either side will be very happy with the draw. Van Gaal obviously will want to win, as you've said, because as you said it perfectly, you can't afford to draw your first game. And, obviously Ecuador will not be a very easy team. Certainly no easy games in that group, except, of course, if you're playing Qatar. Because that team is basically a collection of lambs waiting to be slaughtered.
So Bergwijn, free kick for the Netherlands right now. Bergwijn attacked. Yeah, not real attack, but you know what I mean. So ball gets round and round on the defense. Okay, tries to search for a player, and that's no, and yeah, it's the ball on the right. Yeah. Oh, and that's Dumfries getting thrown to the ground.
You're still a few seconds behind me, so I think from where I'm looking at, it's Gakpo who was trying to do some
Yeah,
work, and I think he's won a corner now for the Dutch. I think.
Yeah.
But this is good. Like this is going to be some sustained pressure from the Netherlands. It might only be a while before the Senegal cracks. It is Gakpo, of course, with that corner, but the header from Van Dijk was once again over the bar. So one thing I do like about Virgil van Dijk is that he is, of course, a central defender in that classic role.
Close call, and that was Virgil. Yeah, big Virgil.
Yeah, so certainly a very tall defender. And it is, of course, fair to say that Mendy was able to get that covered. But, again, he's got that height. He's able to sort of, rise up and head the ball quite well. And also, when he's on his best form, his, positional awareness and his sense of timing are immaculate. But it's just a shame that his form this season with Liverpool has not been the best. Maybe this World Cup could be what he needs to get himself back into form, and it could be a good thing for Liverpool. What would you say?
Yeah, pretty much the same as you said. He has his chance now, right now, to refill his reputation with Liverpool. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's not the fault, but it really relays on Liverpool too, because not the best start this season. On no, that was me. No, not the best start this season, but still, I think they are sixth right now in the Premier League. So if the winter breaks ends and the World Cup ends, I hope to see Liverpool fighting for maybe the title is too far away, but still fighting for Champions League, and with Newcastle, Tottenham, and Man United, still Brighton and Chelsea.
You never know. You never know. This could very well see. The likes of Arsenal and Manchester City could continue to slip up, and maybe you never know. Liverpool could be back in it, and of course, under Jurgen Klopp, we know that Liverpool are a team which is more than capable of, going on very long winning runs and sort of rocketing back up the table after some really difficult starts. But yeah, it'll remain to be seen. And obviously, the big priority would be to make sure that they avoid getting injured. But I think a large number of these players as well have had the World Cup on their minds. They've not really been quite able to concentrate so much on their club as such. And, playing in the World Cup is always going to be something that every player would want to achieve. So as much as we say that the clubs pay the wages, I'm pretty certain that most managers would not be so arrogant or inhuman to tell players, you can't focus too much on the World Cup, and just it's a normal thing, especially if certain players themselves have. And we see a booking right here for Matthias de Ligt, a rather clumsy challenge there, and I think that's the first booking of the day. The first half was a little bit sedate by comparison.
So we're on the 56 minute now. I think I'm about to hop off. It's if it's good with you with your
So you want to go and have some dinner, huh?
Yeah,
That's
pretty
fine by
hungry.
me. That's
Yeah.
fine by me. But listen, thanks a lot for coming on, and
Yes.
I will obviously put the link in the chat for anyone else who would like to come in. And yeah, obviously Kino will have to leave, so thanks a lot for coming on, brother. And if you've and if there are any of you who would like to come in, the link's in the chat. Do please click the link and join in. If you're backstage, I'll add you on. But Kino, it's been a pleasure, son. Take care of yourself and good luck to you. Okay, so now you're in my company, and now we will get back to the game where we see more cagey stuff. We're sort of coming up to the hour. I mean, it's the 58th minute right now, and still more sedate play. Andreas Noppert in the Dutch goal has not really had a save to make because the defense in front of him has been that good. Denzel Dumfries now. So Dumfries and Blind obviously had a brief to try and make sure that they would be able to overlap, but so far Senegal have held firm, and they now come up with another attack. Can they pierce the Dutch rearguard? Well, obviously it's now. Will there be maybe a shot from distance? We'll see what happens. And that was Diatta there who had the final touch. Crépin Diatta in French, perhaps. And he was also a very big part of the build-up to that attack. Uncharacteristic mistake there from Nathan Ake, who almost allowed the ball to go past him, but sort of a sign of the trust that the three centre-backs have in one another. An idea that, Van Gaal is more than happy to, continue to play along this system. And Van Dijk now has the ball, orchestrating things, obviously. But that's been given away. And now the Dutch win it back. Again, more cagey stuff. It's De Jong now who's trying to sort of start something. Nice interplay there with the Dutch. And it's they're in the Senegalese penalty area. Little hesitation there, but finally the header is made. And maybe a shot from distance. Sort of deflected, and that will go behind for a corner. So Koulibaly there doing some defensive work, and Berghaus over there making a bit of a nuisance of himself. But Berghaus sort of finding space, looking a bit dangerous, and obviously trying a shot. Even if Koulibaly hadn't have intercepted that, it would have been an easy stop for Edward Mendy anyway. But now it is Cody Gakpo who will take the corner, and Memphis Depay is now suited and ready to come on with an hour just about to elapse. But he will probably have to wait until this corner is taken. A little conversation there between Kouyaté and Van Dijk. Premiership rivals, of course. It looks as though there's a Senegalese player down injured. It's the number 22, Abdou Diallo, who's on the floor. Sort of pointing at his leg, perhaps, and he does have some rather seems to be okay to continue, and the corner can be taken. Cody Gakpo now. It'll probably be an in-swinging right footer. So once again, we have half an hour to go. Any of you want to come in right now or just after the match is over, please come in. The corner's been taken, headed in the air, punched away by Edouard Mendy, and that will go for a Dutch throw. So again, not exactly a real save in that sense of the word, but an important intervention nonetheless. Sort of rather nicely using his left hand to sort of, pull himself up in a way and then providing a huge punch with that big right hand of his. And there will be two substitutions, one for the Senegalese and one for the Dutch. It is Vincent Janssen who will be coming off for the Dutch. He's had a good game so far. run quite well, obviously, covered a distance of 6.7 kilometers, and he will be replaced by Memphis Depay. Very experienced, certainly one who can be expected to provide that impetus or that ballast, if you will, going forward. And Senegal have made their substitution. Apparently, Diallo was not quite fit to continue, and so he has been replaced by Senegal's number 14, Ismail Jacobs. Probably will be expected to take Diallo's place on the left in the left back position. Nathan Ake now has the ball, passes it back to his teammate who sends it forward to Dumfries, who tried to connect with that, but he's won a throw out of it, which is not too bad at all. And obviously a distraught-looking Abdou Diallo walking with the physio, being consoled by his teammates. Ake now. Pass forward. Does Dumfries get that? Yes, he does. Heads it down inside the penalty area. Bergwijn. Some skills with that. And that goes out to Nathan Ake, sort of trying to stay along the periphery, if you will, and passing that forward. That is with De Ligt. De Jong. De Ligt has sort of moved a little bit to the right, if you will. And now Senegal can attack, but the ease of the Dutch transition from attack to defense and vice versa has been really on point tonight. No real opportunities for Senegal to get in. Jacobs with his what should be his first touch of the ball. He will be expected to play a roll down the left. Sabali, the right back. And that is pretty poor play there. And throw is conceded. Diatta, the guilty party there. Crépin Diatta. And the free kick has been awarded to the Dutch. Really should keep a timer on this, but I can tell you the 64 minutes have elapsed already. We're into the 65th minute now. And this looks to be a sort of a very tactical chess game of sorts. Interesting to see which team will, have first bite. And now it is with Diatta now as he tries to move forward. Has people to his right, tries to pass through the defense. And a shot there from Dia, and that produces Andries Noppert's first save of the game. At his near post, some good work over there to win the ball and cut off the Dutch attack. And Diatta, of course, was able to pass that through to Dia. A shot from a tight angle and a comfortable enough save, which had to be made. But Senegal have now come into life. A corner now to be taken by Diatta. Out-swinging right footer. Headed sort of back outside the penalty area, but Sabali is able to pass it to Diatta, who was unable to control it, I think. Or did he keep that in play? Yeah, the referee has ruled that went out of play, and a goal kick has been awarded. Yep, the referee has confirmed that. Obviously the television camera confirmed that, so the Netherlands are now going to continue to build out from the back. Virgil van Dijk. Frankie de Jong. Back with Frankie. And of course, Depay is now into the attack. And now it's Blind all the way down the left, and the ball should stop quite nicely for him. Whips it inside, but there's no one at the end of that. And appealing for a foul. that should be cleared away. And in fact, the referee has in fact awarded a free kick. So, that was Jacobs over there who was sort of felled by Denzel Dumfries in the penalty area. And could have been a handball, but in any case, the referee has indeed given a free kick. And Senegal will be making another substitution. It will be Aliou Cisse giving some instructions, of course. And it is, in fact, the number 20, Bamba Dieng, who will be coming on. And who will he be replacing? Senegal are now building out from the back. So no one backstage right now, but once again, the link is in the chat, everyone. If you want to come on, just click the link. I'll see you backstage and add you on. And still moving on, still going forward, and Edouard Mendy will allow that to go behind for a goal kick. So just showing that save again, obviously Dia was able to get him behind the defense, but the 2.03 meter Noppert was able to get down comfortably enough. And, there is a saying that taller goalkeepers aren't able to get down too well, but that was pretty nicely done of him. And he is now coming on, of course, for Dia. Boulaye Dia is now off, and Bamba Dieng is now on. About 22 minutes left in the game, plus stoppages, of course, and it's still 0-0. A rather cagey affair. And Kouyate's on the floor right now. You sort of get the feeling that this is the type of game where one goal will win this, so... Rising over then, that challenge, and looks as though he's hurt his hamstring, so that does look very painful indeed. So this could be another terrible injury blow for Senegal, because Kouyate has been an important part of that team, and obviously a hamstring injury is quite serious. So if Cisse were to be forced to bring on another substitute, it could very well end up being another midfielder. And of course, Senegal have now, they did a sort of transition into a 4-2-3-1, but of course, Boulaye Dia is now off, and there'll be another substitute warming up, of course. Okay, 20 minutes to go now, and there will be stoppages, and I think Kouyate will probably have to be stretchered off for a bit. And if his injury is that bad, he might not be able to continue. So, Kouyate, I believe he plays for Nottingham Forest in the Premiership. And that's not going to be good news at all for Steve Cooper. Now, of course, Cooper has 3 of his boys playing tonight when Wales take on the USA. Wayne Hennessy, as expected, along with Brennan Johnson and Neco Williams. And so a substitute has been prepared. His Kouyate's hamstring has been sort of strapped. So he will be stretchered off, and he will be consoled by his teammates. And it looks as though it's the number 26, Papagea, who will be coming on for Kouyaté. So a blow for Aliou Cisse to lose Czech Kouyaté, who's been an important player for Senegal all this time. And Papagea will be brought on very soon, you would imagine. At the moment, it's Sabali coming up against Daley Blind. And Koulibaly now trying to shepherd that. All he does is sort of force it out of play. Blind now with the throw. And it is with De Jong, who passes it across to De Ligt. Bergwijn. And that was Dumfries, rather, to Bergwijn. And now Senegal can break. Do they need to bring on their man, or maybe they'll wait until this attack is over? It is with the number 18, Ismail Assar. And that's a wonderful shot, which brings about a terrific save from Andries Noppert there. And I believe the referee has now stopped play. But on his debut, pretty good save over there. And I believe the play was offside. So, yep, wandering offside. Straight at Noppert anyway. So expected at a more comfortable height. And obviously he was able to, block that away. It was, of course, Idris Gueye with the shot. And comfortable height, really, for Noppert. Didn't really have much to do there. So it's a double substitution now because Crépin Diatta and Kouyaté are both off. And on their place comes Papagea and Nicolas Jackson. Not Jackson, must be Jackson maybe, but Netherlands can break free now. Nathan Ake. Yeah, it might have been straight at Andries Noppert, but that was a good reflex save, obviously, and did well to sort of push it out of harm's way, but it wouldn't have counted because of the offside. So and some pretty sloppy play again, conceding a throw from Senegal, and the Netherlands can sort of deal with that. But it's with Ake, who passes it back to Noppert. Back to Ake now, who sort of he was hoping to find Memphis Depay, but couldn't find him. And Senegal can now break. Sabali, who ends up pushing that out of play for a goal kick. So about 15 minutes to go now, and neither team has really been able to break the deadlock. So you really do get the feeling that one goal will win this. Any more comments? Any of you? Yeah. Been so engrossed in the game and trying to speak to Kino that I completely forgotten about that. Do apologize. And we are now, of course, in the second half. And the second half will, of course, be over in about 15 minutes. So Bamba Dieng with a shot over the bar. And once again, Senegal have to defend. And defend they do, only just conceding a corner. So it's Jacobs there who concedes the corner, sort of fending off Denzel Dumfries in the process. And Nathan Ake is now coming up for the corner. You would assume that Virgil van Dijk will be there as well. And now the short fella is Steven Bergwijn, but definitely lightning quick down the wing. And certainly a tireless worker in midfield as well. So the corner's whipped in. Actually, sort of an out-swinging corner, if you will. But still with the Netherlands, who can try and find a way inside if they can, and it's sort of played across the field to Daley Blind. And that goes behind for a goal kick. Jacobs coming back and proving his worth, coming into the side and proving his worth as a defender there. And obviously, once again, the battle between him and Dumfries is still continuing. A highlight of this chance on goal. Yeah, good reflex save. It was Idrissa Gueye with the shot at a rather comfortable height, and you get the feeling that that's sort of why Van Gaal chose to pick him. His height means that he cannot be easily beaten. Any more comments in the chat? So, nothing else, I'm afraid. And it looks as though that's El Hadj Diouf there in the stands, former Senegalese international himself. A rather controversial player, but certainly revered by his countrymen. Nathan Ake now. To Daley Blind. And some shirt tugging, and that is rightly punished with a free kick. So obviously you can see is right coming down to the last 10 or so minutes, and it will certainly be squeaky bum time. And now there's a substitution. It will be Steven Bergwijn who will be going off. He will be replaced by the number 14, Davy Klaassen. And Berghuis will also be heading off to be replaced by the Dutch number 20, Koepenmeyers. The elegantly named Teun Koopmeiners. Sorry if I got the pronunciation wrong the first time around. So obviously fresh legs are required. No injuries as of yet, which is quite good from the Dutch point of view, but obviously a more tactical substitution in order. The Netherlands probably should look more likely to score, but well, they're not going to score if they have sloppy play like that. Frankie de Jong pushing the ball out of play for a throw. And Louis van Gaal then discussions with his assistant coaches. Koopmeiners sending that out for a throw. So it hasn't exactly been a very attractive game in terms of overall chances, but there has been a lot of good work in the midfield. And it's just a question of the final touch not really doing very much indeed. But certainly some fine midfield play, of course, from the Netherlands has seen them do well so far. And some very aggressive work there. Klaassen to De Ligt. All the way out to Dumfries, back to De Ligt, who will probably sends that through to Young. Dumfries now. And that goes out for a Dutch throw. Taken quite quickly. De Ligt passes that now to Nathan Ake. Virgil van Dijk, of course, was in between them. De Jong now. Ake. All the way to Blind. Trying to get that through to Depay. Passes back to Nathan Ake. And some pretty sloppy play sees that ball given away, and Senegal can attack through Idrissa Gueye. Going on down the left. Numbers are coming back. Gueye now. Still going on periphery. Sabali, the right back. Back to Sabali. And now Papa Gueye. Papa Cisse. Jacobs. Whipped in, and a header that goes over the bar. So no real attacking, no real quality in the final third. That's been the problem from both teams. Aside from that shot, of course, from Idrissa Gueye, Andres Noppert has had a rather quiet international debut. Making your international debut at the age of 28 in the World Cup, stuff of dreams, really. Could he go on to have an amazing career in the game? We will see. Virgil van Dijk to Nathan Ake. The Netherlands looking to build from the back. De Jong. Back to Ake, who sends it forward. Anyone on the end of that? Well, obviously there was the hope was that somebody would have been on the end of that, and Papa Cisse is now on the ground. And that was, in fact, Coop Miners who was trying to get on the end of that, but not able to rise up above Papa Cisse, who is on the floor. So this isn't a really good look for Senegal right now. A few of their players are getting injured all too easily. And the referee drops the ball back. Talking about turnovers, Dumfries has had 14 turnovers in this game. So he's looked sharp going down the wing, but certainly that quality in the final third has been lacking. About 7 minutes to go plus stoppages. One goal will probably win this. And now there's some gaps in the field, and the Netherlands have come into the attack, but the Senegalese defenders have come back in a pack. Into the penalty area, it is with Depay. Tries to get over the defense to no avail. It's with Blind now. Back with Depay. De Jong, who can sort of whip it in. And we have a goal! And it's Cody Gakpo who rises, beats Edouard Mendy to it, and is able to head it straight into the net. And I do remember saying that one goal would win it. Could this be that goal? So, obviously, I remember saying at halftime that the Netherlands are normally a team that would sort of rise to the occasion in the second half, and this is how it's proved. A potential victory, of course, for Dutch pragmatism. And with the Senegalese starting to tire, it could very well be the case that this goal will win it. So some excellent work, of course, between Daley Blind and Frenkie de Jong and Memphis Depay. And Mendy was a little bit late to collect that, but Gakpo was there quick as a flash. A bullet header into the net, and Mendy had no chance with that. So talking about how a sort of an attempted punch over there, and Mendy was a little bit late. I believe the Senegalese were appealing for a foul, but no dice there. Could that go to VAR for a possible check? I don't know. But at the moment, the Dutch are delighted. And with 5 minutes to go, will that be the goal that wins it? Senegal 0, Netherlands 1. Netherlands certainly look to be the sharper and fitter team. And yeah. I will, of course, provide details of that goal. Cody Gakpo on 84 minutes. But Senegal can attack and attack back. It's with Sabali now down the right back who was picked today. Papa Gueye. An attempted shot over there, and once again, Andres Noppert has to divert that behind for a corner. Probably had it covered, but still had to make the save. Very ambitious shot over there, which could have caught out quite a few other goalkeepers at their near post, but Noppert saw the danger and was well prepared. From the resulting corner, a short corner, which is sort of played in now finally by Senegalese, Senegalese. It was, of course, Nampolis Mendy who played that in. And they win another corner. So it's how you respond that matters. And the Senegalese are now swarming all over the Dutch penalty area, looking desperately for that equaliser. So far, Noppert has made 3 saves tonight. 2 of them at his near post. One of them, of course, being a reflex save. And certainly Mendy hadn't been tested, but obviously that goal pierced his rear guard. And speaking of Noppert, he's able to comfortably claim that and sort of fall to the floor. Yeah, clearly that was traveling quickly along the turf, and that would have possibly caught out other goalkeepers. I suppose it was swerving a little bit away to Noppert's left. Might not have hit the target, but he still had to make the save. So good goalkeeping there. A good debut for the 28-year-old Noppert. But Memphis Depay now had the ball, and Daley Blind gets it back. And once again, the Senegalese defense could clear, but couldn't end up clearing. It's now with Depay after receiving that pass from Daley Blind. Down the left. Frankie de Jong now, who has had a fine game for the Dutch. Daley Blind also outstanding. And he wins the throw-in of Sabali. So not a very auspicious start for Senegal. And Cisse is looking rather worried on the touchline. 2 minutes to go, and there will be stoppages, you would imagine. So some satisfaction there on the Dutch dugout, if you will. And it's Daley Blind now with the throw. The Netherlands can, of course, take their time with this, but probably not too much. And that is, of course, intercepted again by Sabali, who concedes another throw. And Gakpo once again getting into the swing of it. It's Daley Blind now who can try and who passes it. And Senegal can clear, but Ake Hense heads it back in. Papagaya now sort of making a high clearance. And Frankie de Jong there trying to earn a Dutch free kick and ending up getting it. Any more substitutions to be made? We'll have to wait and see, but it is a Dutch free kick. And that's a long pass back all the way to Noppert, who will, of course, send that further up. Not actually just above the halfway line, rather. And it'll be a Dutch throw to be taken by Davy Klaassen. Nope, he leaves it to be taken instead. By Denzel Dumfries. And we are into added time. There will be a whopping 8 minutes of added time. So it looks as though Senegal still have a chance and they still have to try and believe. And Edouard Mendy now rolls it out all the way to Sabali, the Senegalese right back, who's had a good game today, but probably wishes he were on the other side. Yusuf Sabali is his name. And that is Yusuf Sabali right now with the ball. Trying to find his way through, but the Dutch are able to, come and attack him. Koulibaly, the captain. And that's sent forward. Does it find its man? Yes, it does, in the form of Bamba Dieng. And that's sent over the bar by Jacobs, a rather speculative attempt out of nowhere. Always going to rise. Never had any power in that. And you just wonder how long it could be before things start to get a little bit desperate now for Senegal. They still have some time, but they do have to get a bit of a move on. As for the Netherlands, though, they've been good value for this lead so far. This should end up being a fairly straightforward, if not comfortable, win. And nice start to their tournament. And so Gakpo leads the way with 5 defensive line breaks so far. Obviously been able to get in behind the line and sort of break up proceedings. Koulibaly sort of passes it back to Edouard Mendy, who probably should have looked to try and be a little bit more, either be more proactive in coming out and claiming it or sort of staying on his line. Some heroic defending there from Daley Blind, who concedes a throw in. And it is back now through Nampalys Mendy. Yusuf Sabali. That's Koulibaly now, trying to sort of run through. Can he find his man? Yes, he does, but some pretty good defending. It comes out to Sabali right now, who can cross it, and that header needed to have some control on that. Instead, it went over the bar. But some good sustained pressure now from Senegal in these last few minutes. There are, of course, 5 minutes to go of stoppage time. I'm not too sure either team will be interested to have more stoppage time being played. And it looks as though the goal scorer, Gakpo, will be coming off, showing us a replay of the goal. Pinpoint cross, header met, goalkeeper stranded, and Netherlands in the lead. And he will be replaced by the number 15, Martin de Roon, for the last 5 minutes of 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time. And yep, Mendy, of course, at fault for that. Should have probably stayed on his line. And Nampalys Mendy goes into the book now. Desperation for Senegal. Catching Klaassen on his foot right there, certainly painful. And Senegal concede a free kick. Free kick is whipped in. Dumfries doesn't get to that, but certainly it's Koopmeiners who does. And the linesman has raised his flag. Three minutes of stoppage time left. What do Senegal do from here? Some head tennis going on right now, and a clash of heads there between Klaassen and Yak. Looks as though it was Idris Gueye who clashed with him, and he receives a booking. Gueye, of course, making some controversial headlines for his refusal to wear the pro-LGBT uniform while at Paris Saint-Germain. A devout Muslim. And of course, he has since left PSG and gone back to Everton. We see the backup goalkeeper there, Remco Pasveer, sitting with Gakpo. And another highlight of the goal, Mendy trying to come for that, but completely misjudging the flight. And that probably will go down as a goalkeeping error. But the Dutch aren't complaining. They're 1-0 up. 2 minutes left. And should potentially be home and dry. A minute 30 left of added time. Referee might decide to add an extra minute depending on how things go. Sabali with the throw in, passed back to him by Jackson. And another throw in one. This time it's Papagaye who takes that. Nope, it's sort of hands it back to Yusuf Sabali who throws it. All the way to Jackson who ends up conceding the throw. And this could very well be it for Senegal because there's a minute of time left. Daley Blind has the throw. The Netherlands aren't in any hurry to try to attack, but Papagaye is able to win the ball. And now we see the Dutch Depay over there trying to sort of play keep ball to no avail. And this could very well be Senegal's last chance. And that has just been effectively extinguished. Denzel Dumfries there with the interception. And I believe Jacobs is hoping for a goal kick. Well, he's got a sort of a free kick instead, which is more or less the same thing. Last 15 seconds of added on time. The referee might add another minute. Koulibaly sends that forward. Intercepted. And the Dutch defense can sort of play keep ball and not really let Senegal back in. The 8 minutes of added time are in fact up, but there could be another minute added. And the Dutch can seal it here. It's Depay in the penalty area. Saved by Mendy, but Klaas is on the end of that. And that is it. Another awful piece of goalkeeping there from Edouard Mendy. Only able to parry out a shot which should have been caught. Klaas was on the end of that. Mendy got a hand to his shot, but could only divert it into the net. And with that, it is effectively game, set, and match. So I will, of course, change it right now to yep, got the ticker sorted. Saved, the banner sorted, rather. And that is that. Once again, Depay there doing some good work. And Klaassen getting onto the end of that. Pinpoint pass there. Some pretty poor goalkeeping there from Edouard Mendy. I believe he did get a hand to Klaassen's shot, but could only divert it into the net. And with that, Senegal are despondent, but the Netherlands are home and dry. And will that be the end of proceedings? Not quite yet, you would imagine. There's still about 30 seconds left until we have 10 minutes played in this half. You assume that the referee will blow his whistle sometime soon. Not, of course, before Senegal take a throw in. And no real hope of them even scoring a consolation right now, but it's still with Idrissa Gueye. And that goes out of play, and the referee should blow his whistle sometime soon. And the whistle is, in fact, blown. So an excellent win for the Dutch. A couple of late goals, one late, the other one breathlessly late. And the final score, of course, is now Senegal 0, Netherlands 2. The Netherlands wrapping that up quite comfortably, very efficiently indeed. And Dutch pragmatism getting the better of Senegalese spirit. But the Dutch are now in full voice. Senegalese have made a pretty poor start to the tournament, but there are hugs and handshakes all around in the Dutch camp. All the squad are gathering together to pay tribute to their fans. And of course, as ill luck would have it, we now go to advertisements. But obviously the story of the game will be pretty much how the Netherlands were able to, stay defensive for the most part, not really, concede any goals as of yet, because they knew that Senegal would want to try and attack. Without Mane, they look probably a bit toothless. and certainly all of their endeavour in the midfield was not really rewarded with that necessary quality in the final third. But with the Netherlands, they were able to soak up all the pressure, and they got the goals they needed late on. And I think Edward Mendy will certainly look back on those 2 goals and say he should definitely have done a lot better. Wouldn't be surprised if Aliou Cisse decides to drop him. The only question is, if he does drop Edward Mendy, will it be for Alfred Gomez or will it be for Seny Dieng? Well, Dieng has, of course, had recent experience of playing for Senegal. He, of course, started Senegal's first 2 games in the AFCON when Mendy couldn't make it. I think it looks as though Mendy may need his confidence mended, if you will. But so far, a pretty routine win. Any more of you in the comments so far? Once again, the link is in the chat. I will once again post the link in the chat, and I'll be on for an extra 10 minutes. So if any of you would like to come on and have your say, by all means do. Just click the link in the browser or copy and paste the link. I will be on for the next 5 minutes, and I will be waiting for you to come right in. But the story of the game is, of course, the Netherlands winning their first game 2-0, quite comfortably indeed, and Senegal will now have it all to do in their remaining 2 games to make sure that they can qualify for the second stage. But it's looking a little bit difficult for them, and they were expected to have the best of the conditions, especially given how they're used to such humid conditions back in their native land. But sadly, sadly didn't prove to be the case. And I think the Dutch came well prepared today. Van Gaal was able to select a good team today. Bringing Memphis Depay off the bench was a bit of a masterstroke. He was also very much at the heart of the Dutch attack. The Dutch defence had fine games today. Virgil van Dijk, Matthias de Ligt, and Nathan Ake. And that brave decision to give Andreas Noppert his debut paid off, because he did make some important saves which good keepers are expected to make, but important saves nonetheless. So attention now, we'll switch to Wales against the USA, which will be kicking off in half an hour. I will try and give you some team news if I can get it. Actually, they'll be kicking off in less than an hour, so we're going to try and see if there are any team news coming in. I will, of course, check the team news as well on BBC Sport. So we've had goals in all 3 games so far in this tournament. Obviously, so we do have some team news right now, and I can tell you right now that the USA... Yep, so let's take a look at the lineups if we have them. No, we don't have them actually, but I can tell you right now that one of the headlines is that Bale, Wilson, and Ramsey are starting. So Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey are both starting. There is no Joe Allen in the team today. He is injured. And the interesting question is, will it be Danny Ward or Wayne Hennessy in goal? Obviously, some talk about the boys of 58, the Welsh team of 1958, which made it all the way to the quarterfinals, only to lose to Brazil 1-0. The likes of John Charles and Jack Kelsey playing a big part in that. And only 2 of that squad are still alive, Cliff Jones and Terry Medwin, both ex-Tottenham stars, of course. And I'm going to take a look at the team news right now for Wales. And yes, I will share the team news with you right now. So, present, or present in this case. So this is the team news right now. Bale starts for Wales, and of course Wayne Hennessy is there. So Wayne Hennessy, Neco Williams, Ben Davies, Christopher Mepham from Bournemouth, Joe Roden, Harry Wilson, Aaron Ramsey, and Gareth Bale, who will captain the team, followed by Roberts, Ethan Ampadu, and Dan James. And on the bench, it will be Danny Ward and Adam Davies, the backup goalkeepers, followed by the long-serving Chris Gunter. Joe Allen is, of course, not really in contention, but Brennan Johnson will be expected to come off the bench. Kiefer Moore, Joe Morrell, Tom Lockyer, Williams and Harris, and Sorba Thomas, of course, from Huddersfield Town, Dan Levitt, Ben Cabango, and Ruben Cole will make up the bench. So expected to play a sort of a 5-3-2. I believe Bale will be more or less a part of that. And this is the US team news. Matt Turner from Arsenal will be starting, so there will be some more Arsenal involvement after Bukayo Saka started today and scored 2 goals. It'll be interesting to see how well he does. A little bit interesting to see that, despite playing second fiddle to Aaron Ramsdale at Arsenal, Turner is now playing in this World Cup and not Aaron Ramsdale. Serginho Dest on loan at AC Milan from Barcelona, along with Zimmerman, Adams, Robinson, Yunus Musa, who, of course, is a former England youth international, of course. Weston McKennie, very experienced. Christian Pulisic from Chelsea. Tim Ream from Fulham. Timothy Weah and Josh Sargent. So it is Tyler Adams who will captain the team today. And this will obviously promise to be very interesting indeed. And, of course, Wayne Hennessy has gotten the nod over Danny Ward. Ward, of course, had been in top form, improved recent form for Newcastle, that is. But Wayne Hennessy, obviously the hero of Wales's playoff triumph over the Ukraine and also Austria. And he's also played in Wales's most recent international. So Robert Page obviously believes that if it isn't broken, do not even think of trying to fix it. And some more news there. Earlier news from the game today. Iran players didn't sing the national anthem. And, this will obviously send a statement to the government back home, but don't want to talk too much about politics. So, yeah, this is sort of how it works. And this is the team news. And I will obviously hope to be joining you later on for... oh, yeah, we've got Mr. Brokermans here, Kino. Come on, Cody Gakpo, our savior. And I wonder what you will be thinking about Davy Klassen with that last-minute goal. So, yeah, sort of how it works. But I will end this broadcast in the next few minutes, of course. And if there's anyone who would like to... a Mendy disaster, definitely. And yes, we will do a watch along to it, so I will end the broadcast. But thanks once again to Hanno for allowing me to do this. I've really enjoyed it. Always enjoy doing watch alongs for this channel. Love working with him. Terrific guy. Another reminder, please like this stream, like all his videos, subscribe to the channel, click the bell button if you want to get any notifications. So I have 2 minutes left. If there's anyone who wants to come on and have your say, come on backstage. Let's be having you. I will have a chat with you. But at the moment now, Group A sort of, it is Group A actually. And Group A's action is now over for this first week. Both Ecuador and Qatar, Ecuador and the Netherlands are sitting pretty at the top with a win and 2 goals each. Their clash will be very interesting. Senegal and Qatar have 1 loss and a goal difference of -2. So their clash will also determine which of those 2 will stay in the competition for another day and which of them will leave. I will, of course, check out the schedule to see how that will pan out. Sort of the... because I want to make sure I get the order correct, you see. Right, so we've already seen Netherlands beating Senegal and Ecuador beating Qatar. And the next games, Qatar, of course, will be playing Senegal. So, yes, the losers of that match will in all likelihood exit the tournament quite early. And Qatar could exit the tournament, indeed, very quickly as the host nation. And immediately after that, it will be the Netherlands and Ecuador. That'll potentially be a fight to see which of those teams could top the group. And, of course... that Wales-USA match will be starting in about 50 minutes, and I will be here, much earlier to make sure that I do that. And yeah, I think Kino agrees that Klassen goal was probably the better one there. But I'm sure you might agree that in contrast to Andreas Noppert, who had a pretty good game on his debut, Edouard Mendy, the more experienced Edouard Mendy, the more venerated Edouard Mendy, had an absolute disaster. I want to know your comments on that before I wrap up. And once you reply to that, Kino, I will be wrapping up because we've gone on now for 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I want to make sure that I am well rested and ready. But does anyone else who decides that they want to come on in? Once again, the link's in the chat. If you want to come along and have your say, you can have your say very quickly. Otherwise, in the next few minutes, I will be ending this stream. And we see no one. So as it is, it's still going on. I mean, so sort of, the action will continue, obviously, in this tournament with the USA playing against Wales. And yes, the beast of Herenveen. So I'm glad you responded. And you were apprehensive about his debut today, but I think you're a lot happier now. And as for Edouard Mendy, well, Chelsea and Senegalese fans will start asking a lot of questions right now. It might be time for him to be dropped. The only question is, does Aliou Cisse stick Alfred Gomez in with more experience, or Seny Dieng, who might sort of have the bit between his teeth, having played a full season at QPR? Whatever the case may be, Senegal do also have some injury issues, with Kouyaté having gone off with a hamstring problem. And Cisse will have a lot of work to do to try and rejig his side, whose confidence might be shot a little bit. But the Netherlands are up and away, Ecuador are up and away, Qatar are down in the dumps, Senegal could be joining them. I mean, they are sort of in the same position. One of those two teams, Qatar and Senegal, could exit the tournament very quickly indeed. So we will have to see what happens. But until then, I will be seeing you all in about half an hour or 40 minutes for USA versus Wales. I want to thank all of you who have come in and joined me today. Thanks once again to Hanno Trollip and his Coach's Corner. Please, once again, like this video, subscribe to his channel, click the bell button for notifications. And if you're enjoying the tournament, you're enjoying watching the games, by all means, enjoy the games. This promises to be an interesting tournament, and certainly it'll be a test of, wits. And yeah, I'll hope to see you again, certainly. And it'll be good to catch up with you again. But until then, from the Coach's Corner, this is Manny Thangadurai. Thank you very much for joining in. Enjoy yourselves now. I will see you again soon. But until then, I am out.